So something we've talked about on this podcast, this is be the last little thing we touch on with Megill because there are other things to talk about from this game and whatnot. But we've always talked about McGill potentially being a guy that could be a bullpen arm. He was optioned to AAA Syracuse before Sunday's game, which I don't think was much of a surprise to anyone, figuring the Mets need fresh arms in the bullpen, and he's an optionable guy. And he, like we said earlier, wasn't necessarily pitching well this month with his 7.43 ERA. Is there a possibility in this stint in AAA where they maybe tell Dick Scott, who's the manager in AAA, uh, give McGill a couple outings out of the bullpen, or do you think that's more of a off-season transition thing, assuming McGill is still on the New York Mets coming into camp in 2025?
Oof, I think this is a pretty tough question. I see this a lot that Tylor Megill as a bullpen arm could be pretty good. Um, at some point, Tylor Megill is part of or at least partly part of the rotation for a couple of years, and he has never been. Um, he has his flashes of being a good starter, but overall, I think you could you could say mediocre, maybe a little bit less than average. And I think with the Mets starting pitchers they have and that are coming up, I don't necessarily think you need him as one of your starting pitching arms. We've seen with Buto. I think Buto is definitely better and more deserving of the spot right now. Scott, obviously. Um, so could be good. Why not? Why not give it a try? Maybe with that new splitter, him, maybe uh, him being able to drop one pitch out of his arsenal that makes the others maybe better. I don't know. Give it a shot. Why not? Nothing to lose there, in my opinion, because it's not like you are losing a number three guy or something like that right now.
Yeah, and I think some of the rationale behind potentially making that move are some guys you just mentioned, Buto, Scott. Um, we know Tidwell struggled a little bit since his promotion to AAA, but that's a guy the organization is high on. Same with Brandon Sprout; he's in AA. But the point I'm trying to make is there's a lot of guys in the pipeline that, when they get to the major league level, and if they're successful as starters, they're easily jumping McGill on the depth chart. So, you know,
Yeah, it's happening already. So I think right now you could say that he's our seventh starter, but just because of how it went, he was still in the rotation. But I think Peterson is obviously better. Severino, Senga, don't even count Senga, Scott, Buto, Manaya, all those guys right now are better. Maybe you could even make the case of Adrian Hauser because I'm not a firm believer that he's only good in a bullpen. I just think he found his sinker and he could be, that spot starter guy as well.